I bet you haven't tried the video games that reflects your reading. But that is why I am here to help you on your way into the video game universe. Before continuing my thoughts here, I have a question for you non-gaming book lovers out there. How are you not obsessed with video games? Because in my opinion, you should. Not should as in have to, but should as in I don't understand how you are not. My goal with this video is for non-gamers to experience all the joy video games can bring and how it could enhance your future reading experience. Because it most definitely can. Have you ever thought about why we love to read? If you would ask me that question, here is what I would say. To learn, to discover, and to escape reality. For most readers, the latter probably is the main reason. Escaping reality. We humans have always loved stories. This is rooted deep within us. We love escaping reality. We always have. Way before the written language, people sat down around the fire telling stories of great achievements that later became the basis of fictional storytelling. Since the beginning of the written language, in any language across the entire world, people have documented real events and stories that has later been dug up from the sandy depths of the desert. Dusty tombs hidden deep in dark pyramids, or texts that has been preserved and handed down from generations to teach the next of wins and failures of humankind. All of these ancient texts is what fictional books today are based on. So why is it that we love to read? We live in a world that is continuing to grow, expand, and innovate. This means the stress levels we are facing daily are becoming increasingly higher. People are suffering from stress and anxiety more than ever before, and there has not been a bigger search than now for books like How to Relax, How to Deal with Anxiety, or simply How to Escape Reality. These are one of the greatest search topics on Google, by the way. Books are great portals into reality escapism. Books are such great tools that so many are not considering. When you open a book, you are immediately transported into another world, even into different universes. It could be on the historical battlefields of World War I, or in a mystical land of magic with dragons soaring in the sky, princesses to be saved waiting for a hero in armor to come. Or you can find yourself in a dark post-apocalyptic metro filled with mysteries of how the world ended. All so sudden. The choices are literally endless. There is a book out there for everyone with any taste or personality, just like with video games. So to recap, I think we love books so much because it's tickling humans' most core elements: curiosity, discovery, learning, and the need to escape reality. How are books and video games so similar, you might ask? The statement I am trying to sell to non-gamers who love books is books and video games are basically the same. When I say that, they laugh. But they both have a story to tell that unveils as you go further in the story or the game. It has one or more protagonists and one or more antagonists. The main protagonists are usually developing skills that are growing their character. This is key to a storyteller in both video games and books, and we call it character development. This is a structure that helps the reader or the gamer to get more connected to the characters in the story. But here is where it gets really exciting, something non-gamers don't know before they actually dive into video games. And that brings us to my next topic: why I think book lovers unknowingly love video games. The main difference, which is the basis for my entire theory of this video, is in video games you get to control the characters you only can visualize inside your mind while you're reading. What more exciting dream could you possibly have? To be able to actually control the epic characters you have just read about in your most favorite books. I've spoken with so many people who are book lovers, and I asked them if they have tried video games. Their answer is most of the times no. They often add, "I am not into that," or "video games are for kids." And I always hate that last statement, video games are for kids, because you can argue very easily that there are also books for kids just as there are video games that are made for adults. Try letting kids, or even better, doubting grown-ups to play Resident Evil, GTA, Amnesia, or Silent Hill, and then let's see if video games are just for kids. But the conclusion to that would probably be that video games are invoking violence, as video games often gets a bad rap in media after terrible actions of real people in real life. I actually want to comment this just a little bit further. Stay with me on this one, it gets really interesting. In the 60s and 70s, when more challenging books and movies came about, there were just as much controversy as of today's so-called violent video games. Because of their nature, language, and the topics brought up in the stories, so many of them got banned. Movies we watch today that we don't even think is bad was actually banned in many countries from releasing in cinemas. Monty Python's Life of Brian was actually banned in most countries because it made fool of and made parodies of Christianity and religion. The reason these types of movies, books, and games are so important is because they bring up discussions and debates about taboo topics or difficult ones that brings our society forward instead of backwards. So where was I? Yes. If they only knew that books and games share so many similarities with each other. There is a story that unveils. You follow one or more characters that usually develops over time, getting stronger, wiser, and more powerful. You are exploring the life of another character through their own eyes, realizations, and perspectives. To people who love reading books, I say, you would love video games, you just haven't played the right ones, or more importantly, you haven't tried the right video games that reflects your reading. The biggest mistake non-gamers do is that they have tried the wrong games, in my opinion. It's not their fault, or anyone's really. They just have been presented games that are outside of their interests. Even me, a huge video game nerd, have a lot of games I strongly dislike. And I have come to the realization that I enjoy mostly games that reflect the books that I am reading. So maybe now you have taken the steps to actually try out a video game. That's great, but you're still telling me it's not for you. So many non-gamers think that video games are just you mindlessly running around shooting people with no context or logical reasons whatsoever. My dad doesn't even know that video games has a story that it follows. He literally thinks you are just running around mindlessly doing random shit for no apparent reason at all. And this is also the belief of so many non-gamers, and it drives me insane. They look at games that are often mentioned in the media, like Fortnite or Minecraft or Apex Legends, League of Legends, or World of Warcraft. These are games that are so easy to dislike from an outside perspective, because it looks like you're just running around shooting shit or building stuff or collecting things. Of course, now you will comment, but those are only online games and there are a lot of single player games where you're doing the same stuff as you just described for the online games. And to that I say yes and no, but that's a discussion for another video. My last point to make in this video is how and why video games can enhance your book reading experience. There is something happening while you are reading, something that always happens. but maybe you haven't really spent time reflecting upon it. We all know it. We imagine the story, we visualize the character's face and appearance, the halls and the corridors in the story, how they walk, how they fight, even how they fall in love. Our brains are painting a very vivid picture that plays out as a cinematic masterpiece in our mind. But if you have problems concentrating or losing yourself in the story, those visualizations can look foggy. If you start playing video games, you will experience that your mind has it way easier getting lost in the stories you read in your books. We humans have always loved looking at visual things, because it makes our brain more susceptible for developing our imagination. When you start looking at something you have never seen before, they will start to pop up in your imagination, because your brain now has the reference to paint those pictures for you in your mind. If you made it to the end of this video, I have some video game recommendations if you like the same books as me. I love books that hits the adventure genre. Thrillers, cosmic horror, and books that depicts a dystopian society. Books like Metro 2033, 1968, any novels by H.P. Lovecraft really, Lord of the Rings, and the Da Vinci Code books. Skip the Da Vinci Code and read Angels and Demons instead. That is the best one in that series. Therefore, I really love video game titles such as Uncharted, The Sinking City, BioShock, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, Elden Ring, which I hate, but I love the atmosphere and the lore in that game. And of course, Assassin's Creed. When I say Assassin's Creed, I only mean the first Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. The rest is shit. Even though I liked Assassin's Creed Origins, that was good. And for the people saying that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the best in the series, I will say this. It's probably the best pirate game in history, and probably ever will be. But it had nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. So let me know what your favorite books are, and even your favorite video games in the comments section below. Thank you for following my thoughts in this video. Be sure to subscribe to get notifications on my next uploads, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Until next time.